"Sir, you've got to help," said the tearful man at the door. "There's a family that I know very well that is in desperate need of money. The father has been out of a job for over a year. They have 5 kids at home with barely any food to eat. And the worst part is that they are about to be kicked out of the house and they will be left on the streets without a roof over their heads." "That's a very sad story indeed," said the man at the door as he reached for his checkbook. "But can I ask, how do you come to know so much about this family's situation?" "Well," responded the man who was asking for help, "I happen to be their landlord." The Torah tells us that before initiating the great flood, God commanded Noah to try to influence the morally corrupted society in which he lived to change their ways. Indeed, our sages tell us that Noah preached for no less than 120 years, and all to absolutely no avail. When those first raindrops began to fall and Noah entered the ark, the only other people present were his immediate family. He had failed to inspire even one single individual outside his family. And why? How could Noah not have gotten through to even one person? Our sages explain that this was because Noah's outreach efforts were motivated by a sense of duty to God rather than by love for his fellow. And when those he interacted with sensed that, like the landlord in the joke, Noah's humanitarian efforts were motivated by self-interest rather than by concern for their well-being, the doors to their hearts were firmly shut. What a stark contrast to Abraham, the father of the Jewish people, who inspired an entire generation of pagans to become monotheists. How so? Because as evidence from the fact that Abram was willing to challenge God, even on behalf of those who were wicked, Abraham clearly cared deeply about each and every one of God's children. I'm reminded of the story of 2 yeshiva students who stood at the plaza of the Western Wall, offering passerby the opportunity to lay tefillin. An unaffiliated Jew walks by the first fellow. He asks the man, "Would you like to put on tefillin?" And the man says, "Absolutely not," continues to walk, takes maybe 20 or 30 steps and encounters the second yeshiva student. And without even being asked or prompted, he rolls up his sleeve and he says, "Can you please put tefillin on with me?" After putting on the tefillin, the first yeshiva student runs after him and says, "Just for my information and so that I can be better at what I do, can I ask you, why is it that you passed me by and you actually, of your own volition, asked the second fellow to put on tefillin with him?" And the man said, "It's very simple. When you asked me to put on tefillin, I saw in your eyes that you were asking me to do this mitzvah so that you should have a portion in the world to come. But when I looked into the eyes of the second fellow, I sensed that he wanted me to put on tefillin so that I should have a portion in the world to come." Let me conclude with the wise words I was once taught. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Shabbat Shalom.
וכך היה אומר הנשם